Bitcoin hit $107,000 today and is just a few percent away from hitting in new all-time highs. I said this in a video last week that it was only a matter of time, not if, only a matter of time before Bitcoin hits new all-time highs and goes to $130,000, $140,000, $150,000. We're going to talk about all of that in this video. But before we get started, welcome back to the channel. My name's Doc. For those that are new here, I'm a resident physician throughout the day, and at night, I take you guys on my crypto and investing journey. It's been a hot minute. We're not wasting anybody's time. Want to get you right into the swing of things. How did this get here? Anyways, Bitcoin right now, right around $105,000. What a wild, wild day. You can see some candles here, a little bit of manipulation. We had a huge jump up, and now we're pulling down a little bit. And I'm going to tell you why I think that is and show you some data behind it. So stay towards the end of the video for that. But Bitcoin got all the way up to almost $107,000 today. You can see we actually wicked it. So technically there are a ton of exchanges that said we hit 107,000 because we technically did, right? So this gray line right here, and we went above it. So that's pretty gnarly. And guess what, guys? We're literally like a percent, maybe 1.5% from hitting new all-time highs. And it doesn't feel like it. Like retail definitely doesn't feel like it. If you look at the crypto fear and greed index, we're at 74. And seeing as we're almost putting in new all-time highs, I'm actually surprised that this isn't in the 80s or 90s, because we are literally a stone's throw away from new all-time highs in Bitcoin. And I don't think people realize how big of a deal that is. I kind of think that a lot of reasons that folks maybe aren't super jazzed yet while retail isn't here yet is because Bitcoin dominance is really high, right? You can see the dominance is starting to shoot back up all the way to 64%. At one point, we hit 65%. And again, you guys all know that Bitcoin dominance is the percent of the entire the entire crypto market that's made up of Bitcoin. So we want this to fall in a durable way. And guess what, guys? Everyone was so excited when we took this small fall down in the Bitcoin dominance. Alts were starting to rip. So guess what? Just wait until this gets down to the 50s, 50% Bitcoin market dominance. Our bags are gonna moon. Now, one of the reasons that people were getting excited when the Bitcoin dominance was falling right here is because of ETH. ETH was showing a ton of strength at the end of this week, getting all the way up to $2,800. So ETH finally starting to break out. And as ETH breaks out, this is going to bring Bitcoin dominance down. I really do think we see a new all-time high for Ethereum. I would not be surprised if we had a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 Ethereum. And this is a relatively safe 2 or 3x in my opinion. I really, really do believe that. Bitcoin, or excuse me, the global liquidity continues to absolutely skyrocket. So these are really, really good things for risk on assets. If we take a look here at the crypto bubbles on the day, tons of green. And the week, coming down a little bit, but you got to remember this week just started. So don't get fooled by the weekly view. If we look at the day, lots of green. Also, guys, if you're getting any value out of this, come on in, give me the early like, subscribe if you're getting any value out of this, and comment down below, where do you think Bitcoin is heading this week? Something that's getting me jazzed is Blackrock buying a truckload of Ethereum. Over $8.6 million was bought on Coinbase. And if you guys are in the Discord, which by the way, free Discord down below, we're building an awesome community. If you're in the Discord, you know why I love Ethereum, because I'm rocking a sneaky play on Ethereum. If you want to know what that is, check out the Discord. This to me is very reassuring. We all know that Bitcoin moons first, then Ethereum, then a really strong L1s, and then we start to get altcoin season. So this is really, really healthy. I was talking about this in the Discord. Pretty exciting stuff right here, right? Stock futures fall. This is Friday coming in over the weekend, right? So this is really, I took this from Sunday, but the narrative's been the same all weekend. Stock futures fall after Moody strips the US of its top credit rating. So you're probably thinking like, hey, what is that? We're going to talk about that in just a second. But this is what we have to look forward to this week. So we just talked about Moody's downgrading our credit rating. Again, we're going to talk about more of that in a second. That's going to be a big deal. And that is why the stock market futures are down right now, okay? And I also suspect that's why Bitcoin's down right now, right? We were at 100, we said we're at 107,000. This red candle is because of the stock market futures. So that's going to be the big thing tomorrow. We have some crude oil data coming out on Wednesday. We have some existing home sale data on Thursday. I'm kind of interested in this because I'm looking at a few rentals here in Texas. And then we got a ton of speakers who are going to be talking this week. And when we say Fed speakers, these are folks who are part of the FOMC panel. So really, really important to get their take on it. And speaking of FOMC, stay towards the end of the video because I'm going to specifically talk about that. Okay. This is the Moody downgrading. This is why futures are negative, and I really do believe this is why crypto's pulling back right now. So Friday afternoon, as the traditional stock market closed, Moody, they're a credit agency, they downgraded the US's credit rating, and they were citing concerns over soaring US debt with these super high interest level rates, right? And this is what's gnarly. By the end of 2035, 30% of our revenue is going to be taken up with just interest, right? So think about that. A third of all of the revenue that comes in to the US is going to be spent on just interest alone, which really just goes to show why we need a different play of what we've been doing, and Bitcoin can solve that. So I want to take a look at this picture. If we scroll up, we got a couple different credit rating agencies here, Moody's, S&P, and Fitch. And this is the first time that we've been reduced from a AAA rating to a AA rating. This is the first time that all three of them have agreed that we're not a AAA. So that's really concerning in so many different ways. Speaking of kind of concerning or sad, is this chart kind of stole my soul a little bit. You hate to see this. You hate to see the market manipulation. But if we look at the change in Bitcoin ownership so far this year, businesses are buying Bitcoin. The ETFs are buying Bitcoin. Governments are buying Bitcoin. And yet retail is selling their Bitcoin, right? So don't get shaken out of your Bitcoin, right? I get it. Everybody's got bills to pay and all the things. And again, don't invest anything that you can't, because crypto is risky, right? This isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But if you can hold on to your Bitcoin, this could be worth $1 million per Bitcoin within the next decade, which is kind of wild, right? What do they say? The first rule of Bitcoin is never sell your Bitcoin. This was reassuring in a lot of ways, though. Michael Saylor saying never short a man who buys orange ink by the barrel. And what this really means is he's signaling that Strategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy, they're going to be posting a big buy Monday morning. They're going to be adding to their stack, and they own almost 600,000 Bitcoin, which is wild to think. Right now, only 20 million Bitcoin are out in circulation, and probably 4 to 5 of those million are lost forever. So this man, Saylor, Strategy, buying boatloads of Bitcoin. It's just a matter of time before they own 1 million Bitcoin. If you guys are looking to trade these markets, if you're an experienced trader and you want to trade with leverage, my BTCC link is going to be down below. You can get a 10% bonus on first-time deposits. This is the exchange that I use more than anyone else. They're just super reliable. There's no KYC, so you don't got to give them any of your personal information. They are a partner of the channel, so if you use them, it helps me out. Check them out. I thought this was really important. I want to end on this, and this is so underrated. So last week, CPI and PPI, and just for those who aren't aware, those are inflation metrics, are ways that we measure inflation here in the US. Well, these came down lower than expected, and that's good, right? What that means is we have less inflation than these agencies are predicting. And what that means is if we have low inflation, that should give Jerome Powell the ammunition to cut interest rates, right? The sad thing is Mr. Data Dependent, Jerome Powell, he's using lagging indicators, right? The CPI and PPI, this looks at the previous month. So the previous month's data is saying that inflation's coming down, yet the rate cut probabilities for the next FOMC meeting, which is in June, has a 91% chance that we stay exactly where they are. So some people are saying like, hey, is Powell playing politics? And that was kind of my take on it, right? So I actually quote tweeted this from Tyler because I think he hit the nail on the head. If you guys don't follow Tyler Hill, he's an awesome guy. He's been around for a long time. This is a little bit of a politically charged tweet, but it is how I feel, right? Jerome Powell is not following the data, and instead he's following his own political narrative by not cutting rates despite really, really low inflation. And this is the same Fed chair who cut rates 0.5% right before the election in an attempt to really make the economy look better for Biden. So it's so obvious, like inflation's so low. We are one of the only major countries, first world countries, who have not cut interest rates. Like the data is so clear. We should be cutting by 25 basis points in the June meeting. We are so far above the neutral rate. And really, I don't want to put politics in this because that's not my objective. I try to stay objective, but it's so clear that the crypto entire industry is having to battle all of these extraneous forces, which I just don't know if that'd be the case if we had different leadership. So just something to think about. Really, really hoping we get rate cuts sooner than later. But I am hearing rumblings that it could be September before we get that rate cut, or at least that's what the data is showing. Trump tends to agree too, right? He's saying the consensus of almost everybody is that the Fed should cut rates sooner rather than later. Too late Powell, a man legendary for being too late. And what he's referencing is in COVID, the COVID era, we were way too late to raise interest rates. He's probably going to blow it again, but who knows, right? So the cop out. So I don't want that. Again, not trying to get political, but it really feels like rates should be cut sooner or later. This is the channel. If you guys are getting any value of this, really do appreciate all the support. Feel free to like the video, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, InvestWithDoc.com. That's the website. I'm going to give you a little bit of my own thoughts if you made it to this far of the video, 12 minutes in. Also, sorry I've been MIA for the past couple days, working on something really, really special that's going to come out in 2 weeks. So if you want to hear about that, it's a brand new project. We are really trying to change the narrative. Check it out in the Discord below. But what I think is, guys, we're literally 1% to 2% away from new all-time highs. It is just a matter of time before we hit that. Whether it's tomorrow, this week, this month, it's happening, right? Bitcoin is going to hit above $109,000. And just think about it. QT, that's eventually going to stop, right? Quantitative tightening, it's already coming to a screeching halt. At some point, they're going to stop QT. There's also rumors that a stealth QE has started, right? Because the government's been buying all of these bonds. So all of these things are really, really good for risk on assets. I would really suggest just hold where you're at. Again, not financial advice. I can't give you financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But if your bags are packed, I really think an altcoin season is just around the corner. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. If you got any value, just hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. I'll see you guys on my next video.